Hey, this is Mai. I wanted to welcome y'all to my kitchen. Behind me, you will see my juicer, and it's not just a juicer. This is my Breville friend. Let's just call it my friend today. So I just wanted to kind of just bring you in the kitchen right now, just to give you an idea of where some of the events will be taking place when we're going to do the kitchen or the cooking session. Mainly because I would say that this week, as I spoke before, I wanted to begin a juice fast that has to do a lot with spiritual cleansing and to begin just really, cracking open the old aspect of myself to begin to walk more in the higher self in a daily walk. And I find that a lot of the manifestation of negativity, anger, um, just being totally unhappy in different facets of my life have kind of been trapped in my body. And so I find that in order to really clear my mind, clear my path, because weight is not just something from the outside that you could say, oh well, that person's big, so they're lazy, they don't care about themselves, whatever. I mean, most people that you will find that says, that they are heavy, they'll say, well, I love myself just as much as the most, as the second person, and then they go into that, well, I'm fat, that, pretty hot and tempting, all that great stuff. I feel you. But when I feel that it begins to affect you medically, then there's something that definitely needs to be addressed. And so I find that before it gets to that level for myself, I really want to focus on just doing some serious cleansing because, for the most part, I actually had a conversation with one of my friends earlier, and we were talking about the fact that a lot of African American women deal with the issue of, fibroids and a lot of female issues going on, and how that's actually a manifestation of, the mind. A lot of our connections and relationships with people, they consider it to be what they call somatic, when your body actually takes on a physical manifestation of, places in your life that maybe forgiveness has not had a chance to break up things, how that can get polarized or crystallized in our liver, in our blood, in our glands. So that's really something important to really look at. So today I wanted to talk about my juicer, which again that I was really happy to get. For one, that it was actually mentioned in the movie Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead as being just a really great juicer that you can pretty much just get your fruit, cut it in decent sections, and just plop it in. You don't really have to do a lot of high maintenance. I remember just really being on a budget, and I got me a Juice Van Junior. That whole do what you got to do. The fake it till you make it, get to the place where you need to be to make things happen for you. So even though you might have to take that time to get your juicer, get you something decent that's going to allow you to move forward in the process. There's nothing wrong with that, because I know I had to do it. But now that I have this juicer, I can do things on a more a level of quantity, and I can also produce juice at least for 3 or 4 days, because you don't want it to go any more than really 3, because it loses a lot of nutrients. And so that's another reason why you don't really want to use the juices that you see, like when you see those V8s and stuff like that. A lot of those juices are dead. They're dead. They're dead nutrients. They can't do anything for you. That's why they have that shelf life. That's why they're just chock full of all kind of preservatives and stuff. So the best bet for you to do is to juice your vegetables and fruits right then. And the main thing with that is you're getting all the micronutrients that you need pulled out and your body can absorb. In the movie Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead, it talks about, when you're eating like just say if you're eating fast food, hour two, you're hungry later. It's because your body has not registered the fact that it could have used any of those nutrients. So your body's like, okay, I feel you, that was cool, but I can't do nothing with that. So you got to be really mindful of that fact. And so nobody's saying that you got to go out all of a sudden and be this juice master or this raw vegan. I remember being in Philly, and a matter of fact, I was in North Philly. I was at Temple University. They have this really great community program that is a part of Temple University, and it was my first introduction to raw veganism. And it was presented in kind of the infrastructure. It was dealing with a lot of Kemetic spirituality, etc. And the presenter was a spiritual priestess, and she was discussing the facets of using raw vegetables and eating raw, and that just really blew my mind because I couldn't grasp the concept. I didn't grow up like that. I didn't understand, like, how could you how could you be full, and then realizing that being full is not necessary also a way that you want to live either. But I just couldn't get the concept of just eating fruits and vegetables and certain things, grains and stuff, and just being all right with that. And so what I had learned from this class was that sometimes, you need to take the baby steps to get to the next level. So it's like if you're going to eat, a sandwich and you get your bread, just make sure instead of getting an Italian hoagie roll or getting you some white and rich bread, step it up, get you some whole wheat grain with some flaxseed in it. So you always want to just try to keep improving and moving forward and just taking it to that next level. So even if you're just incorporating vegetables and fruits more in each meal, you want to kind of change up your portions, make your meats and your starches, etc., a lot smaller portion, and your vegetables a lot bigger. So even if you're just doing this once a day, hey, how about this once a week? For some people that might be their reality. So like, just do what you can. If that means cutting down the sodas, or if it means like just cutting back on some things that that you can incorporate or switch up, then that's really major too. So again, when I took this class in Philly, I was really inspired, but it took me a long time to get here because again, it didn't really register with me that I was an emotional eater. And when I did really start to understand that, actually, I have quite a few friends that come from multicultural, diverse communities. So one of my friends is Hawaiian Samoan. I have a couple of other friends that are African American, and they have spent plenty of time, in discussion with me when we talk about emotional eating, and we discuss different facets about just trying to understand like where that has come from in our life. And it was just really interesting to me that several of the women that I was working with, just as friends, I'm not saying working with like we was in therapy. I mean, we were just working together and trying to dialogue and try to see like, okay, where is this missing link within ourselves, or what is there, maybe the similarities that we have, that we're finding this connection with food and being emotional eaters. And the interesting thing is that I found that most of us had dealt with a lot of trauma in our earlier youth. I found a lot of us had dealt with poverty, as well as a lot of sexual abuse. And the interesting thing about the sexual abuse, as a child, as we were moving forward, was that some of that was actually drawing from the fact that we were trying to not just protect ourselves, but trying to make ourselves unavailable or unattractive, so maybe someone would not want to come to us that way. So it was just really interesting to kind of have this dialogue to say like, wow, we were actually using food as a way to disguise ourselves, but then also finding out later on, from a medical standpoint, certain food combinations actually will act as a similar manner as you would if somebody was using or taking an antidepressant. So the different kind of chemical combinations of food that, we were either craving or desiring or trying to put within our lives were actually antidepressants somewhat, as a way to kind of help us cope through those circumstances. So, sometimes, when those kind of things happen, they're great. They serve their purposes. So it's not a point of beating anybody's self up for whatever you had to do to survive. You got to do what you got to do, and no matter what way. Some people don't cope. Some people turn to drugs. Some people turn to alcohol. Some people, become sex addicts. I mean, it is what it is. But at the same time, when those certain things don't serve the purpose anymore and you need to move forward, then it's time to release and let go. So again, my segments that I like to do are going to be based straight on truth. It's going to be on, keeping it real. I'm a big fan of Dave Chappelle, so we're not going to focus on the keeping it real goes wrong. We're going to keep it focused on keeping it real gets right. So on that note, I'm going to definitely try to come back at you with my vegetables, with my fruit, show you how I cut them up, how I do it, so I can prepare for this fast. And I'm really excited though, because I feel that this has been a long time coming. I really feel that, I'm really ready to be a lot healthier in my life and to reboot and to get a fresh start, new perspective. Because they say, like, when you actually do a spiritual fast also, you receive a lot of insight, you receive a higher connection to things. And, there's a higher level of clarity that is involved that comes along with that too. So I'm really looking forward to just unfolding and continually seeing who I am more and more and more each and every day. So I think I'm going to try to at least do a video log, and maybe from what I've seen from people doing so far, they're probably doing them maybe about every 20 days. So I feel that I don't want to keep weighing myself in. I don't want to keep focused on that aspect. I feel that maybe every 20-25 days might be good, because it's a 60-day fast. So just kind of keeping it on that range. I'll have to do pictures and stuff. I'm always a little camera shy. You would be surprised at the videos I'm doing. But I really want to just be of service for others, as well as be of service for myself, because there is a level of accountability that comes into play when you do put yourself out there and do a verbal commitment to the world about what you want to do. So I'm really excited. I just came from a really great seminar that was dealing with Afrocentric transpersonal psychology, and the fact that there's a optimal theory that focuses on what it is to really be your optimal self, as well as to understand the different blocks that we have in our communities, as well as in our walk culturally, how to regain that spiritual connection with your culture, ethnicity, as well as the community, and working with your family members, your children, your spiritual community leaders, but just more than anything, just to help us understand that what it means to understand really what transpersonal is. Transpersonal psychology is just kind of transcending or moving up from that old level of mindset and reconnecting with your inner spirit, because it's like anything on the outside is a reflection of what you put out or somebody else put out, and not necessarily you going inward. So the whole focus on transpersonal psychology, on the spiritual aspect that they were speaking on tonight, was really focused on getting deeper within yourself and unlocking the universal spirit of love, connectivity, and just true peace, for you to have that light vision that that you were here to do, or what you're here to do in this incarnation. So again, I will check back in with you. I'm gonna try to head up the farmers market on Sunday, and also I go to this great store, this Asian market, to get my fresh produce. So I look forward to seeing you then, and namaste.